Another product, just another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, just another product of the anger in the nation. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the short is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product, just another product. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the short is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product of the anger in the nation. East to the coast from New York to LA. Power to the people that struggle every day. Peace to the crews from New York to LA. Power to the people that struggle every day. The East Coast, Mecca shore is where I stay. When I had no food, I used to cool around my way. Peace to the crews from New York to LA. Power to the people that struggle every day. The East Coast, Mecca shore is where I stay. When I had no food, I used to cool around my way. I got a mad style of frustration. Just another product of the anger in the nation. Just another product of the anger in the nation. Just another product of the anger in the nation. Anger in the nation. Anger in the nation. Anger in the anger in the anger in the anger. I drop bombs for my generation. It's another product, just another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, just another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, just another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, just another product of the anger in the nation. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the shore is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product, just another product. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the shore is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product of the anger in the
OMG. OMG.
I gotta turn the video down. It's a little
OMG.
like listening to it live on twitch.tv/the Mashup Podcast.
I forgot that transition made noise.
It made
We're doing great.
noises.
We're doing great already. Yeah, I made noise. I forgot. Nick, thank you for the raid, brother. Of 16.
Nick.
Look at you people. Look at you beautiful people. Nick,
Look
you
at
are a
them.
wonderful man.
Look at all of them. I see some crazy emotes in chat. What the frick?
Yeah,
are
I don't know.
those?
I don't know.
Things?
No, I don't know. They look
Yeehaw.
they look pretty awful to me. No, they look fucking fantastic.
Mine did a beautiful job with those, by the way.
It said error path messages required, Basky. Basky forgot how to moderate. What do we pay him for?
I'm waiting for the response to that. But
There he goes. He got it now. All right, we can sign your paycheck again.
hey, he's been. It's been a couple of days.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough,
I
Basky.
know I haven't been streaming. I know, like
It's been a weird
he's a
few
little
days.
rusty
I'll
like
just stop.
us,
No,
like,
don't
we're-
stop. I
how
said
do
we
we
would
do this?
continue because you got it right. You redeemed yourself. We will continue to sign your paychecks. You're fine. You're fine.
Hey, Care Bear's here. The
The infamous Care Bear's
infamous
here.
Care Bear's here.
Man,
the
this is
freaking the gift make. Gotta love it.
your free subscription to Only Sam Spassky. That's your paycheck. Anyways, hey guys,
Sorry, you're not getting anything
look.
from me.
This is what happens. Yes, Care Bear, we know about you and your antics. I am in Taylor's and Nick's and everybody else's stream that you were in. I know about your antics, so
Care Bear, to tip of the cap to
I'm a
you for
child.
what you
I'm a
did
child of
over-
God.
That was a beautiful thing that you did, and
Yes, and that gift that
I
you
just
made
sat
of me
there, I
getting.
just sat there and replied. I was like, "Hey, can you put the wasted thing on there?" Next thing you know, it was there. I was just like, "That is
Man,
beautiful."
let me tell you about Bobby's hand and foot size and just coming full force at you without you knowing. It's not gonna be a pretty thing for anybody. He could have knocked down a brick wall. Dare I say
You know what?
a green wall.
I think. Wow. think you know what I think is that we need to get Tabasco and Bobby on at the same time and like re-talk about that whole situation.
I would
'cause
rather not.
Tabasco
rather
had a
not.
point of view. Well, I know it'd be traumatic for you, but
It'd be
I don't
very
know.
traumatic for me. I still think
wanna
about it.
know, it's almost like and what are some of those criminal shows like they put together the actual event? Like we can sit there and like recreate like what happened.
Hey, I mean, hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
This is awkward. This is one of the most awkward introductions we've actually ever had. So, hello, everyone.
This went totally off of the introduction
No,
that
yeah.
we were just talking
We
about.
were gonna do an
we had a
introduction.
plan. We had a skit plan.
We had
were
a
gonna do a
skit.
song and dance and stuff like that.
And you guys threw it off because you guys are crazy right now. But anyways, look, guys, welcome. It's Monday. It's definitely a Monday. Man, did I feel a Monday today? But anyways, it's Monday. It's that time. It's that time for you guys to come look at our our above average beautiful faces. And you're welcome, Nick. Thank you again for the raid, brother. Everybody that's new to the stream or to the podcast, I should say. Look,
I'm trying to figure out this whole tangent thing right now because I don't understand how our opening.
Because it wasn't really a monologue. We kind of went off on a tangent there. So
Count it. Yeah, very true. Count it. And he said, yeah, count it.
it's too early for Halloween tech. God damn, Tim. All right.
Oh. No,
Okay.
I don't know. He looks great on this screen. I don't know what you tell you. He looks
Damn,
beautiful.
hurtful. Anyways, welcome, guys. It's Monday.
What did you guys think of the picture on the tweet?
Oh yeah. Did you guys?
Anybody see that?
You guys like the beautiful picture? Me and Verge just staring into each other's eyes. Anyways, welcome, guys. Welcome. It's Monday. It's podcast time. We've got a lot of talks about. Obviously, we're gonna keep up with our new theme of talking about one main subject, but obviously, we're gonna talk about a few things beforehand. We're gonna talk about the latest roster moves in the CDL, which we had kind of a big announcement this week. And then we are going to head into the NFL in the opening Sunday. Obviously, there's a game as well tonight, and we appreciate you guys having us up while you watch that game, whether you're into it or not. Fuck, that's loud. I gotta turn that down. George, thank you for the follow, brother. Welcome. And then we're gonna go into and talk about our main topic for tonight, which is sleep deprivation and the health risks that come along with it. And hopefully, some of you guys can kind of touch on the subject a little bit. And you know what? I just realized we forgot to do, Verge. We forgot to do the Q&A beforehand on a tweet. So that's my bad.
Well, hey, let's just put it out there now. Okay. And while Sam's kind of talking and stuff like that, and we'll kind of keep track, I'll write down questions that you may have and who it is. So if you just put it in chat, I'll get it, and we'll.
Or if you guys want to go to the podcast tweet of us going live and you want to ask your questions there, do that. If you follow us on Twitter, you can do that. Care Bear, thank you for the follow, brother.
Yeah. So either way, in here or on the Twitter, I'll get it either way, and then Sam can.
Either way.
Again.
I'd probably just misspell the Twitter post anyways. You're not wrong. I've been having a really bad time with typing on my phone lately. I'm beginning to realize that I should have stuck with the iPhone Max, the bigger phone, because I can't type on these regular size phones anymore. Like, it's just, I don't even have that big of hands. I just got big thumbs.
The worst thing that it happens with me is the way I grip it is that you hit the enter button. So like I'm like talking and next thing you know it goes to a new line. It's all cat. It's like, what the frick? I hate this.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome, guys. So, since we've kind of carried on already with this ridiculousness that's happening in chat right now, first of all,
vicious. Look at Care Bear go.
I said this is why I said the infamous Care Bear. This is Care Bear, and
is that the Care Bear stare right there? Is that what happens?
This is what we love about Care Bear. But we appreciate you guys showing up. Nick, thank you so much for the raid. Everybody, if it's your first time in chat and you stay here long enough, I promise you'll end up loving us, and I hope you hit that follow button. But besides that, we're gonna get into it. So CDL this week, obviously we had the one big roster announcement, which was the LA Thieves announcing their roster. I think the biggest surprise about that roster was Envoy. we didn't know where Envoy was going to go. It makes sense now that I look at it that he went to LA Thieves, but we had absolutely no idea where Envoy was going to end up after he got let go by Optic, which was honestly probably still the biggest surprise of all. Envoy being let go by Optic was just kind of, I think, a shock to the COD community after what he's done for Optic and the amazing player he's been. So LA Thieves kind of announcing that roster. We saw Octane. I think everybody kind of guessed that Octane was going to go home and he was going to go to 100 Thieves, be with Nadeshot again, and, you know, kind of complete that roster. But obviously Envoy being there, it makes sense when you look at it now, just because of the ties that Nadeshot has to Optic. And, you know, I think bringing Envoy in made sense for them. It gives them one of the best SMGs in the game, along with, you know, a few other players. Obviously, we know how good Octane is. And then I think Draza and Envoy have played together before, so he's got some ties there. It made sense after it was all said and done. Envoy being there, I think it'll be a good thing for Envoy. I think this will kind of break him out of that cage. I don't know if he was really able to do a lot of that in Optic this year. I think that was a big kind of downfall, but then they kind of turned it around once they stopped unleashing Envoy. Just because there was more teamwork, it seemed like. But anyways, Optic made a decision to let Envoy go. He's now with LA Thieves, so that was the biggest roster move we've seen since the signings have been going on. Surge put an announcement video out today. Hopefully, Care Bear. They weren't though, Care Bear, because only Paris Legion made absolutely no money this year and last year. I think they made like 10K last year or something. Anyways, but yeah, so my biggest thing is whether or not, you know, to your point, Care Bear, is whether or not 100 Thieves is actually going to keep this roster this year and not make the 15 roster moves like they did this past season. We'll see. Obviously we don't know a lot about Vanguard. A lot of people have gotten their hands on it so far with the open and closed beta, but you also in the alphas, but you haven't been able to see it on PC yet, which is what the CDL is played on now. Even though they play with controller, we don't know what it's going to feel like on PC, so we don't really know everything that's going to go into it. We're waiting for this coming weekend. The PC beta is going to be here. We'll get our kind of first notion of what it's going to feel like on PC, and obviously this is going to give us our best look at what, you know, these roster changes for some teams, you know, may look like. We don't know, like, just because teams are putting together good rosters from last season doesn't mean they're going to end up being good this year. And then we had Seattle Surge also put out a little bit of a teaser today saying to look out for the next week. So we'll probably get this week at some point a roster announcement from them. And then I know that everybody's still waiting and anticipating the big announcement from Optic, whether or not they are going to team with Envy or, you know, they're staying with NRG. We don't know yet. Obviously, Dallas hasn't made any roster moves yet either, so it kind of indicates that maybe that leak was correct. But obviously, you know, in my mind, I always like to wait to hear it from Hex, even though a lot of times the leaks are correct. I wait to hear from Hex because I'm going to trust him over, you know, some leak. So we'll see what happens. But that's it for the CDL this week. Again, Vanguard beta coming this weekend for PC and all other consoles. I can't hear you.
That played it.
What'd you say? Sorry. My GoXLR absolutely is shitting the bed on me right now, guys.
You need to disconnect and come back.
So no. It's literally, it's one of the sliders on the GoXLR. It's stupid. I have to like press down on it to get your voice back. I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyways,
it's okay. You don't want to hear me anyway.
What? No, you have the better. I have the looks. You've got the voice out of the two of us. That's why we're the complete package.
Should we do so? So you should move your mouth when I talk. Then is what you're saying.
That's not gonna happen. It's gonna look like an old 1920s Japanese.
We should do a ventriloquist night. Is what you're saying? Chat. What would you do for that? For everybody that maybe did play Vanguard, how was it?
I've heard a lot of mixed things. PS4 was kind of shit, but everybody that played on PS5,
or nobody did. I think Tabasco had.
Because Tabasco said he enjoyed it on PS5. It played a lot better. Everybody that I heard played on PS4, it was it was just awful, because I think a lot of people are getting spoiled by these next gen consoles, and obviously PC with having FOV sliders and all this other stuff. So I think I just think there's a difference there. But yeah, Basky texted me. He said he enjoyed it. I didn't play it. I didn't really play games at all this weekend. So
Wasn't horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll dip into it a little bit this weekend again. I'm not like, is it open PC?
Yeah, I think everything this weekend is open. As long as you've
Okay.
pre-ordered the game, I think everything this coming weekend is open. But I do, from what I've seen and what I've heard from people that are enjoying it, it feels like they kind of incorporated 2019 Modern Warfare into like a World War II style game. So that kind of excites me, because Modern Warfare, to me, multiplayer was a lot better than what Cold War was. So hopefully we see, some good things from this. I'm hoping for a good year of COD. I know it's a World War II game, and a lot of people have their doubts about another World War II game, since the last one was just so atrocious. We didn't want to see another one. We didn't think we were going to see another one for a long time, but here we are. So that being said, since there wasn't a lot of CDL roster news, which is kind of crazy, I feel like this is kind of one of the slower seasons that we've seen in a while. But that being said, we'll move into the NFL. NFL was full of, as usual, a bunch of surprises. We got fans back in the stadium, so it feels a lot more natural now. Obviously, I don't condone it if you're not going to wear a mask and you're not vaccinated, but people are out there doing their thing. But yeah, we got fans back in the stadiums. NFL September 16 and 17, Xbox and PC pre-orders, PS open beta. Gotcha. So it's only if you pre-ordered.
PC
Okay.
pre-orders.
Got it.
Whatever.
Okay. September
Somebody has a code, throw it my way.
open beta all platforms. Gotcha.
Okay.
Now
That's fine.
does open beta mean that you don't have to pre-order the game? You can just download the beta?
Yeah,
Is that what that means? Okay.
pretty sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, the NFL obviously opened up on Thursday night between
Yeah.
the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. A lot of surprises in that game. I know a lot of people still trash the Cowboys, but considering the Buccaneers are supposed to be one of the top ranked defenses in the league, the fact that they barely beat the Cowboys, in my mind, is a huge thing. Look, at the Cowboys, everybody knows here I'm not the biggest fan of the Cowboys, but I will give credit where credit is due. Dak looked like himself, like he looked before he got hurt last year, which is a great thing for the Cowboys. Zeke didn't look good, which is kind of a bit of a pitfall for them. But yes, everybody blames Tim the Tatman. The dude is literally a walking curse. If you're a fan of the same teams that Tim the Tatman is a fan of, I feel bad for you, because he's gonna ruin it for you every time. But yes, so Dak looked good, Zeke looked bad, defense looked not great, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're also playing the Buccaneers offense, which again, only giving up that amount of points to the Buccaneers offense, kind of a big deal, honestly. I take away, if I was the Cowboys and I'm coming out and I'm playing the Buccaneers, obviously the defending Super Bowl champs, with Tom Brady at the helm still, I'm taking this as a win, because you weren't sure how Dak was going to come back. You weren't sure how the offense was going to perform without your best offensive lineman being out due to COVID-19. There was a lot of ifs coming into that game. I think at the start of the game, the Cowboys were like a 10 or above underdog in that game, and they lost by a point. So I take it away as a big win for the Cowboys. I think, again, Dak coming back and performing the way that he performed is a huge win, because you're talking about an ankle injury. You're talking about not only an ankle injury, but his throwing ankle, his back foot that he throws off of. Like, it's a huge deal. Like, you don't think about it, but it's a huge deal for quarterbacks. So the fact that Dak came out and looked as good as he looked, and I know how good he looks because I have Amari Cooper on multiple of my fantasy football teams. Like, he looked fantastic. The biggest mistake, obviously, was not killing enough time, not getting that first down on that last drive they had, and leaving almost 2 minutes on the clock for Tom Brady. That was the biggest L for the Cowboys. And obviously their kicker not being able to kick 2 other field goals or make 2 other field goals and missing an extra point. Yeah, they lost by 2. My bad. So yeah, you know, obviously the kicker, they had a lot of issues, but
8.5 point.
8.5 points.
That was 24 hours
before
kickoff. So that might obviously money lines change rate.
Well, and it constantly went up. I think I think when it started at like the beginning, like the end of preseason or something, I think it started at like only a 2-point differential. But they ended up like an 8-point underdog in that game. So anyways, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I take this away as a big win.
It is for them. Yeah, absolutely.
I really do, because nobody had faith in the Cowboys even competing in this game. So as much as I hate the Cowboys, I take this away as a win. I know you start out the season 0-1, you don't want to start that way, but Dak looks great. That's the biggest thing for them right now. Dak looks he looks phenomenal. He looks like he did.
He had a healthy game. He had a healthy game where he got through it. He looked good. Tampa Bay did not look that good. Like not what they should look like. Listen, I think Tampa Bay was a one-shot wonder last year. It's just me.
Look, I've made the mistake of counting Tom Brady out before, and he's 44 and he's still playing like he's 24. So I can't count him out. I'm hoping that they don't go all the way again this year. I really am, but again, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean it's but the Cowboys did play.
I take it away. Yeah, I take it as a W in their book. I know that they lost the game in the long run, but you know, the way they performed and everything against the defending Super Bowl champion and the team that everybody kind of predicts to win it all again this year, if not them, the Chiefs, like you looked great. You almost beat them. You lost by 2 points. You made the mistake of giving Tom Brady too much time on the clock. Like that's what it boils down to. And then obviously the missed field goals, but kickers are easy to replace. So it's just overall I think it was a good look for the Cowboys. I think the biggest problem with the Cowboys right now is honestly Zeke. If you can't get Zeke back to himself, it's going to be hard, because then everybody knows that your run game's gone and, you know, you're just going to be throwing the ball the whole time. So we'll see. Again, I count it as a win. The rest of the games, I think the biggest surprise besides for me, the Cowboys, was how bad the Bills looked.
Yeah.
Because the Bills are one of the favorites from the AFC to go all the way this year.
To compete again with Kansas City.
And they did not look like the Bills from last year. They did not at all. They looked like the Bills like 3-4 years ago when they were still bad, even though what's his face was under center. And then obviously I counted it up as a surprise because I didn't think they'd get. I think they were going to win. I didn't think but I didn't think they were going to play good. But I also didn't think they were going to play as bad as they did. Was the Packers? The Packers got absolutely torched by the Saints, and I don't think anybody saw that coming. But me and Verge were actually talking about this, before the podcast started. I think a lot of it boils up to, Aaron Rodgers being a diva, and this is coming from a Packers fan. Aaron Rodgers was too busy being a diva this offseason, and I don't think he had enough time with the team. And I just, that's on him. That's his problem.
It takes away the concentration on what you should be working on. Like
right.
You said
Your team,
when we were talking.
Right. Your team in the offseason had to instead of concentrating on football, they had to concentrate on whether or not your quarterback was going to actually be there with you this year.
Yeah.
That's how their offseason went, as opposed to what it should have been, which was getting healthy. Mm-hmm. Knowing that you're going to come out and absolutely crush it this year with Aaron Rodgers again, and most of your returning, starters on offense and everything. So that it's a downfall. It's a downfall for any team when you have to deal with that kind of drama in the offseason, as opposed to what you should be dealing with. It doesn't matter how good Aaron Rodgers is. It's a big downfall.
And then eventually, like, if you don't start to turn that performance around, resentment and stuff like that starts to set in, and then people start to dislike him because the blame goes to him because of what he did, to do this. And then you have that dysfunctional family thing again, and it's
Yeah.
just chaotic. And you're not gonna win games like that, man. You're not gonna win games like that.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's
100%. And I think it's
not the-
there was, but I, you know, I was in another streamer's chat earlier today while I was working, and we were all talking about this, and someone made the good point, like, I'll never doubt Aaron Rodgers again after his relax moment. So who knows? I don't expect this to be how they play all year. I expect for them to bounce back. And I agree with that. Like that
He's in the
moment.
same category as Brady. Like, you can't sit there and say, yeah, he's freaking toast, because he'll sit there and shove on you for the rest of the season. They could go freaking win out now. Like, and
Yeah,
it would
you
not
don't know.
surprise
I
me.
mean, I don't think they will, but yes,
No,
it could very well happen. Rodgers, to me, is probably the best quarterback talent we've ever actually seen on a football field. He just didn't have Belichick. He didn't have the team ever built around with him. He's only got one ring for a reason, because that organization obviously just doesn't have it together completely, and it never has, honestly, since the Favre era. So I think that Rodgers' talent, as much as it pains me to say again as a Packers fan, I think Rodgers' talent was mainly wasted in his prime years in Green Bay, because they just couldn't build a team around him. But anyways, I think that was the biggest surprise for me. Other than that, we'll see how the game tonight turns out. I expect the Ravens to kind of run away from it with it. I know that the offense isn't great, but their defense is incredible. The Raiders don't really have an offense.
they're only 4-point favorites. What did they?
Yeah,
lock them in
something like that. But I
at?
honestly,
It was 4 yesterday.
I don't
Let me see.
see the Raiders really competing in this one. I don't think the Ravens are the best team in the NFL, but I think they're much better than the Raiders. So, but it also depends on how what's his face comes out. Their quarterback, I can't think of his name right now.
Lamar Jackson.
There you go, man. I'm bad with names. But all in all, not a super surprising day. I think we're gonna end up the
3.5
season
at kickoff.
3.5 at kickoff. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna have to deal a year without Fitz magic, which is weird to me, because I mean Fitzpatrick's been working his magic for a long time now, so it'll be
Well,
weird
his
not
hip-
having
his
him.
hip-
Yeah, his
more
hip.
magic
Yeah, his
for it.
hip definitely. He's got that old man hip. I get it.
It went sublux.
But all in all, I thought it was a good day. It's good to have the NFL back. It's good to have the fans back. At a certain point, obviously, I hit my mic. Sorry. Obviously, I don't fully agree with fans being back at full capacity, considering not everybody going into the game has a mask or is vaccinated and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I have no control over it. I can't sit here and complain about it all day. But it is. I'd be lying if I said it's a good and different feeling having the fans back. So yeah, it was a good day. Should be a good game tonight. I think. I mean, I don't know if the Raiders can compete against the Ravens defense. I think is the bigger question than anything else. Just if they can, because I mean, I don't even know any besides Derek Carr. I don't know any names on the Raiders offense anymore.
Mhm.
They're a bunch of no-name guys, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah. Hey, versus Eagles won. Did you guys see that?
Eagles fly.
They actually won. That's probably the only game they won all year, but they won. So. No, they played good. Jalen.
No expectations from this fan.
Man,
As long as we beat the Cowboys and Giants twice, we're good.
I
That's
mean,
all
man,
me.
as long as that offense can keep chugging away, man, they look good. I wish I knew more about football. Well, Cassie, you're in luck because the whole night is not about football. It's just this part.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a good day of football. I enjoyed watching it. I think everybody. I haven't heard anybody say they were unsurprised by the Texans beating the Jaguars, even though I no longer care about that organization. I just think it's funny because everybody else is starting out 0-1, and everybody thought the Texans were probably not going to get even one win this year. So the fact that they're starting out 1-0 on top of the division is kind of funny to me. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah. RW, nobody cares about the Bengals. Let's be honest. Okay, you're the only person.
Wow.
Only person.
Love you, RW.
No. We were actually talking about them beforehand too. Burrow looks good. Yeah. Well,
that was his
no,
first? No.
No, his first regular
That's-
season game ever. It was. Since high school, he's gone completely undefeated in the regular season. He's lost playoff games and championship games.
To the NFL, brother.
Yeah, but that was his first ever regular season win since high school, which is an insane stat when you think about it, because to be able to even go through college completely undefeated is kind of unheard of nowadays, unless you're fucking Alabama. But no, Cincinnati looked good. Burrows looked good. We'll see how that defense holds up for the whole year, and hopefully, obviously, the Bengals can also stay healthy. But I mean, that's the case for everybody, right? Injuries kind of kill your season if it's an important enough player. That being said, we are going to move into our main topic for the night: sleep deprivation. Did I say deprivation? Jesus. Deprivation. Hold on, you guys
Say
are
10 times fast.
You guys are gonna see a screen you're not supposed to see real quick. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Say deprivation 10 times fast.
No, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't need that for my ego. I'm good.
Got it.
But yeah, we got so. Obviously, me and Verge kind of thought about this because I put it on a tweet. Was it last week? Maybe the week before that. About
it was maybe like the beginning, not this past weekend, the weekend before, maybe.
There's oh man, you can see that.
You're asking the wrong dude. I'm old. I forget stuff that happened.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so I thought it was an important topic because you see it a lot in our community, right? Like, we're gamers. We stream. A lot of people kind of forget about the good habits that sleep brings to you. A full night of sleep at that, like, it's not just about sleeping just a couple hours. It's about, sleeping a full 8 hours is the doctor recommended appropriate amount of sleep for your brain to fully reset. And so we thought it was an important topic. We wanted to bring it up because, again, in our line of hobbies and everything that we do, a lot of people lose sight of that. They get too into the drive and the want to always create content and never really sleeping. But it's literally one of the most unhealthy things you could possibly do, because what resets when you sleep, ladies and gentlemen? Your brain. Okay, and if your brain's not fully reset, guess what else isn't fully reset? The rest of your body. The way you think, the way you do your daily activities, how the way you move can be upset by the fact that you're not getting 8 hours of sleep of night. It's okay if you miss 1 or 2 nights. Me and Verge were just talking about how we both slept like shit last night. But as long as you continuously get that like 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep, I think is like the kind of magic point there. And Verge is the medical guy, so he's going to talk a lot more about this and give you more facts than I will. I just want to touch base on it first real quick. And then we'll kind of lead into, the do's and don'ts of it and why it's such a good thing for you to concentrate on getting that amount of sleep. It's just, I can't iterate it enough. It's crazy how much can change with constant good night's sleep. And there's ways around it. Look, me and Verge were talking about, we both take melatonin pills when we can't sleep at night. It's just one of those things. There's ways around it. And obviously there's just so many benefits to it. I can't say it enough. Again, Verge.
Yes.
Starting points, sir. Let's start with,
how do you want to start with? What do you want to start? Cassie, we see your question and we'll answer it as we get going. Okay. But it is the second night and it's the third night and it just compounds.
Yeah, it's all a big factor. It's almost like
having a hangover for like a couple days, like where your body just can't adjust to it. Adjust back.
Yeah.
You think one night's sleep's going to be great. Yeah, you might feel great during the day, but then It's almost like that second day or delayed onset. A lot of stuff that you hear, weightlifters, RW, you probably heard it, like DOMS and delayed onset muscle soreness and stuff like that. Like your body physiologically does not respond to certain things like you would think in like 24 hours. Like there's processes that go on in your body, keeps responding after it has experienced stressors. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to just be like, oh, well, I slept 8 hours last night, I'm good to go. No, actually you're not. So
You're not.
It's not. Yeah.
I would say, talking about obviously.
Do you want to talk about like the mental? Or
Yeah.
do you wanna, like,
I think
Go
ahead.
how about we do this? Go into the first stage, and we can talk about like so each stage. Like after so many hours, you start to have different like symptoms.
Right. Yeah, we can definitely start there. I think the biggest thing for us in this topic, guys, is again the mental stages that comes with it, the really the mental illness that comes with not being able to sleep and not get enough sleep, what it does to your body. And again, it's so important because in the community that we're a part of, in the gaming community, in the streaming and the content creation, it's a huge deal. You see a lot of these guys that are bigger names, and guess what? They may have made a name for themselves by now, but I guarantee you, leading up to it, they weren't just sleeping 2-3 hours a night or not sleeping at all. I guarantee it. These guys are in prime condition. They get enough sleep every night. No, they don't have to worry about it as much as somebody like us, where we have we have day jobs, and we have to we have to do day jobs, and then we have to come potentially sleep stream at night, and then who knows what that looks like. But it's all about managing your time perfectly. And then obviously there's a lot of stuff that can deter you from sleeping 8 hours a night. Like me and Verge have talked about this in the past with our mental illness like our mental illness podcast that we had. Obviously anxiety, depression, all these things can be a factor in not sleeping, but there's ways around it. There's other things that you can do for it. And then obviously, I mean, that's one of the biggest things. And I think there's a big ass moth in my room. Anyways, I think that's one of the biggest topics that we'll touch on, because it's such a big deal in the gaming community, is the mental issues that come with it, the concentration issues, the fact that it could give you things like depression and anxiety and stuff like that. So I'm going to turn it over to Verge. He's going to speak about it. I'll chime in every once in a while, but this is, what, guys, this is Verge's show tonight.
No, it's not. Don't. No,
I can't put him on the spot like that. I'm sorry.
Guys, listen, and we'll talk about this a little bit, and Sam's gonna talk about like the mental aspects. Well, I'll talk about like more of the physical side of things too, and because we've both experienced this. Some points in our lives we've talked about it, like when we were planning for this and stuff like that. I'll give my example real quick. When was it? It was 2019, probably like right around spring 2019. My job transitioned me to a newer contract that they wanted to start up. It was down south of Philadelphia. I was living in central New Jersey at the time, looking to move a little more north. So I was literally traveling from central New Jersey all the way down to Philadelphia and back every single day. So it was like at least an hour and a half drive each way. I wouldn't get home, and then you're thinking about cooking and trying to unwind and do things like that. By the time you settle down to go to sleep, you literally have like 3-4, literally there was nothing I can do. And then I got into the cycle of just like having poor sleep postures. Is that deprivation? In a sense, yeah, because you're not getting a full night sleep with it. Again, CDC says, and any health, any health organization say 8 hours. There's different research that has been done on this topic, and there's a lot of debate on it, especially in more recent years, is that people can get 6 hours of sleep and be functioning fine. One thing that we have is we're all anatomically the same. We have those things, but we all function differently. So with that, remember, stuff that I'm talking about right now, this is not medical advice for you. This is just discussion on
Disclaimer,
this.
yes, we are not.
Do not heed my advice.
Yeah,
and say,
we're not
well,
doctors by any means.
If you feel like you need to go to a doctor or want to talk more about what you need to go find the help that you need to, that's who you need to go to medical professionals and stuff like that. Yes, that's just want to make sure everybody knows that out there with that. So yeah, so I started having it, and it was affecting me, like literally, like my mood, everything started to change, and I tried to fight it, just wouldn't work. So we're going to take in context that it's not just not sleeping, it's minimal levels of sleep, because people try to trick themselves and say, "Ooh, I sleep for 3 hours, I'm good." No, that's not it. I sleep for an hour and a half. I did sleep. My body did get something. Well, actually, if you understand sleep patterns and sleep cycles, like you can say you slept for 8 hours, but did you actually sleep for 8 hours? Did you get into a deep enough state of within your consciousness to where you were like totally out and your body was functioning? Because when we sleep, everything changes. Our heart rate starts to slow down, our blood pressure starts to normalize. We're in a good pattern. You have different release of hormones, and again, I'm not going to sit here and freaking like get into all that junk, but you just have a steady state going on to let your body kind of start to repair itself and build, let the brain kind of relax and go into a neutral state. So you're looking at the first, like, say you don't fall asleep the first day, or like for a day or something like that. All right, literally it's like you're like intoxicated in a sense, if that's the best way to describe it. Like you're almost like legally intoxicated to some degree with that. So everything increases. I mean, heck, you have drowsiness, anger, your stress is good. You're decreased in alertness and stuff like that. You become fatigued and things like that. Your coordination is off. You have increased risk of mistakes or accidents. I think this is the biggest thing. And I think, Sam, I responded to your tweet with this, is that it's not just what's going on with us physically, it's the risks that you're putting to others. You get in a car, and what is a main point of driving? It's reactionary type things. If there's something that happens,
It's
you have
just
to be
it's your cognitive reaction. It's
yeah,
being aware of your surroundings, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. So but yeah, I mean, it's the normal things that you see. It's somebody that's puffy eyes, dark circles under their eyes. That can also be mistaken for stress, because stress also is a producer of things like that. When we're stressed, our body like kind of because our eyes are trying to protect themselves because of the strain that we have.
It's also easier to get stressed when you have sleep deprivation.
Well, yeah, because you can't fight it. You're more prone to it. Like your body can't take it because you're irritable. Like you're tired. Your body has not had a chance to rest. You're not fresh.
Like my bowels, irritable.
There's always something about your bowels that you love to share, and we love it. So say you just keep on this cycle. You're like, okay, well, the next day, I'll get another short night, or you don't sleep at all. Okay. Now you're starting to get into things like where you're really like, you have memory dysfunction as far as impairment, loss of short-term memory. So you're starting to learn, because why? Your brain does not have the proper energy to actually complete those synapses to remember junk. It's not storing it. It's not functioning. It's like your PC CPU starting to malfunction because it's overheating a little bit in a sense. With that, you start to become, your behavior changes. You start to notice like different things going on. Anxiety. This is where Sam's talking about 2 days of doing this. Now you are in risk of that anxiety depression zone, because mentally you're starting to go bye-bye. All right. Actually, during this phase, you actually are sleeping at certain points throughout the day. If anybody remembers this as a kid, and it's just like naturally tired sometimes. If you guys remember like sitting there in class and somebody, you have a boring teacher or something like that, you're sitting there and you're just like this, doing that. It's called a micro sleep. It's 30 seconds. You're out. Actually, you don't even realize it. So just remember, people will be able to see that as well. And it might be not something like that fashion. It might be a stare. I might just sit here and just kind of like, when Sam's talking, just kind of like do something like where you'll just see me kind of like zone out a little bit.
You'll attack, but go
I'm
on.
actually because I'm not doing anything. I'm in a status state
You're just
where
called
I'm just
me
like
boring, guys.
I mean, he is in certain aspects
Damn.
of life. So your reaction time's really lower. You're prone for errors. You're becoming miserable and stuff like that. So another thing with these is physiologically within inside of our body, our appetite is actually increasing because what our brain is doing is looking for ways out. Our brain is saying, I need to eat because I need the carbohydrates to do that. What sleep is it? Sleep is sus. But you start to crave certain things, your nutrition starts to go away, and then guess what? Now we're looking at immune issues. You're looking at increase in blood pressure. You're looking at digestive problems, circulatory issues, because you're not getting the proper nutrients. You're not getting maybe proper hydration. So your blood becomes more viscous, harder to pump. Your heart starts to work harder with that. Then you add stress on top of that. So if you kind of see how it starts to add in the mental concepts, and then about 2 days into it, you're starting to see, physiological or physical changes that are affecting you and compounding together, which is not good, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not getting the message. Stress, high blood pressure, lack of nutrition, that they don't mix well in the playground together. They don't like to have fun and stuff.
Also affects your sex drive. Okay.
It does. It does. And 100%. You start to lose your sex drive, because again, why? Your mental capacity, you lose that energy. Your testosterone levels are down, the estrogen levels are down for female. It's just, you're starting to have hormonal changes within your body that are affecting you. You're more prone to becoming sick
yes,
out
Care
there.
Bear.
And in this day and age, I don't think that's something that you would want, right? You don't want to be walking around there almost have an immunodysfunction because of lack of sleep, because your immune system can't fight something coming into your body. Yep. Because your body is trying to figure out what the frick to do in the first place because it just wants to sleep.
You're also, so to R-Dub's point, your muscles don't recover as fast from what R-Dub does. So if you guys don't know R-Dub, he is very into being the world's strongest man, and he's beautiful at that. So he's going to be the best looking world's strongest man when he gets there. But he's into weightlifting a lot, and I know me and Verge both played sports, and I used to see a lot of that because I used to struggle with doing everything that I did when I played sports. So it's important to so many different things, especially within your body. And then to Verge's earlier point, it creates a risk for so many actual diseases. You're more at risk to diabetes, you're more at risk to high blood pressure, you're more at risk for obesity and stuff. It's just, there's so many things, so many underlying things that come with lack of sleep and not sleeping the correct amount and recharging your body and your brain the way you need to.
Slip, trips, and falls become a problem because your proprioceptive system starts to malfunction.
Right, your whole balance is off because of it.
So take for instance, you're normal. You've had a good night's sleep. You go out. I mean, it could happen to any one of us. We're walking off the side of a curb or something, in a shopping center, and then you might trip or something like that. Sometimes we catch ourselves because one, we can react. It's not just about that quick reaction. It's about our proprioceptive system, which is built into our body, not just up here, but in ligaments, tendons, and muscles. They all work together to kind of keep our balance. One of the first things that we do in a rehab protocol is obviously after regaining range of motion and working on range of motion, the next step is proprioception, because you want to reteach things how to fire certain patterns to keep you balanced. That's just, you start to lose that because the signals aren't getting to the tissue to fire in a proper fashion. Now you have, fogginess and haziness that you're not looking out to where you're going. That trip becomes a fall. Now you're talking about, if I fall the wrong way, I could fracture my humerus because of an outstretched arm. I could fracture my wrist. I could fall, crack a wrist.
Yeah, do
you
anything.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's a crapshoot at that point, but you're putting yourself at risk for something not good happening.
Yeah. And guys, we've all seen the gift that Care Bear made. If I don't sleep for more than 8 hours, or I mean, sorry, if I don't sleep for at least 8 hours that night, Bobby just straight knocks me on my ass in the middle of COD champs. So
Maybe that's what we need. We need Bobby. Like, what we should have a sleep enforcer. Bobby should go around, and if we find somebody, we just call him. Hey,
yeah,
go get him. He didn't sleep 8 hours last night. Go get him.
Yeah. If I don't get a good night's sleep the day before, I would have actually probably died.
But Care Bear, you did put it. You also mean you make a good point about like short-term memory to long-term memory and stuff like that. Yeah, because our body rewrites things as we're sleeping. That's what our brain does when it
Thank
goes
you, Nick.
into,
Love you, brother. Keep going.
Goes into its deeper states of sleep. It'll sit there and it'll just take it and store it more efficiently.
Yeah, you're
into the subconscious.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest things that I noticed like early on when I struggled with sleeping a lot, was my short-term and long-term memory. Like now it's just because I'm older, but like back, in college and stuff, like I'd try and pull those all-nighters, those study sessions and stuff. And I would actually, I'd cram all day and all night, and come to find out I didn't retain any of it because like my brain was mush. I didn't sleep enough. I wasn't there enough, like I didn't have time. I didn't have like my brain didn't have time to retain any of that information because it was struggling, because I hadn't been sleeping well, because I knew it was exam season. I wanted to kill the exams, but honestly I did myself more harm than I did good. Like, thank God, during the rest of the semesters, like I had enough sleep and my brain retained enough information there that I didn't have to absolutely ace my finals. But like that type of stuff right there, that's a huge deal. And you always hear of people pulling all-nighters and doing stuff like that in college. Doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Absolutely does not mean it's the right thing to do because of those situations. So it's just there's so many underlying things.
If you remember, there's an episode of Saved by the Bell. If you remember the Jesse's this arc that she had, she was taking caffeine pills,
right,
supposedly to stay up and study all night for this big test, and she literally like broke down because she was just like, it was a good depiction because they were talking about, I think it was just more the emphasis on like pushing yourself too far and abuse of a substance,
right,
but it's also, it led to, she couldn't sleep, she wouldn't sleep, and it would do that. You go 2 days without adequate sleep or like no sleep, you're gonna start to hallucinate. Your depression, anxiety levels are through the roof. You're very very open for a panic attack because your body just can't fight the anxiety off or anything else like that.
I know a lot of people in this chat right now are Optic fans. And you go back, and this all goes back to what Optic Maniac went through with constantly taking uppers and downers like this. And that was a big part of his problem. That's where the addiction set in and everything. Like, and his comeback from obviously, his addictions to those things. Like, that was some of the stuff he struggled with, and he talked about it in the episode of the process that they did. Like this constant up and down, because he had to take downers because he was taking uppers to stay up, but he still wasn't getting enough sleep. And it all just, his depression, his anxiety, like everything just came along with this. So it's a huge thing, man.
One thing that does happen after like a prolonged period of lack of sleep too, you start to become very introverted, like almost like depersonalized.
Right.
And there's obviously, we have extroverts and introverts. That's fine. Again, you're allowed. That's normal. Like,
that's normal.
We respect that. But
right.
What happens is that if that's your common like traits, you really start to go south. But like, I mean, like normal, like you won't talk to like. So say you were like with, have a bunch of friends, you have very close friends, so it would be like,
You would,
whittling down to eventually you're not talking to anybody.
right?
You're talking to yourself.
Yeah, you
Because
go
you're
for,
just like I can't. I don't have the energy to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, maybe something happened.
or
and you're
the
just like,
or anxiety happens.
yeah, like you're
And
like,
you
oh my
get it-
god.
Yeah, like social anxiety becomes an actual thing. It's no longer being like having anxiety about normal day stuff and like the stress of life and stuff like that. You become actually, you start to have panic attacks and anxiety about the fact that you're gonna like you have to hang out with people, but your brain's just not ready for it because you haven't slept. Oh, hold on. Go. Sorry.
Oh, you're still having these micro sleeps and stuff like that. Like as you start to get worse and worse, now some of these things that we've talked about start to go more and more because your body can't fight it off and balance it out. So you talk about almost 3-4 days afterwards, you're talking about, you know, severe hallucinations. You're like actually falling asleep and catching yourself falling asleep. You're just gonna have that. It's just going to trickle downhill with that. The biggest thing is you start to get the hallucinations. You start to get you know, illusions and stuff like that. Like it's almost like you're like having a trip or something like that. Like you're tripping in a sense. And then there's something that is interesting. There's a when you're up for like, it's saying greater than 96 hours and stuff like that. Again, I've never experienced this or had somebody that I worked with experience this directly, but it's called deprivation psychosis, and literally you're not able to interpret reality. Let that one sink in. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot interpret life.
You see that a
Like-
lot in like insomnia cases and stuff like that don't properly get the medication and the help that they need. You know, insomnia is, yes, it's a very real disease, and you see that a lot in those people. Like when they just literally cannot sleep because of some underlying disease, the people that don't properly get the care that they need, like that's what you start to see. Like all like reality is just.
So now you're not only so think about it for a minute, guys. Okay, so you start to experience some of these things: the depression, the anxiety. All right, the mental components of this. Okay, what's that going to lead to? Coping, right? You're going to find a way to cope for that. Sam was just talking about Optic Mania. Like, he took uppers, downers. He tried to find a balance with that. You see that as well. We talked about the increase to eat and have cravings for food and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden you're eating. Then all of a sudden you're sitting there looking at yourself, because guess what? Now you're not still sleeping, or you're having very poor sleep patterns, and your anxiety is through the roof. Then you take a look at yourself and you're like, then self-perception starts to come into play. You're like, I look like shit. I feel horrible. I don't like myself. And now look at the road you're going down now. Oh, and you're still not sleeping, so your blood pressure's through the roof. You're stressing yourself out over not just one thing. Just understand how it all intertwines. Your body just doesn't work on a one-way street with everything. It ebbs and flows. It's all connected, intertwined together with things. Your body will physiologically respond by via, you know, hormone releases, not releasing those hormones, not getting proper nutrients to musculature or to other organs that start to, you know, malfunction. You talk about kidney failures and stuff like that because maybe you're not hydrating enough. Like, it's not something to mess around with. Like, if you're to the point where you're like literally like feeling these things, it's time to take a step away and like just get some medical help with it, because there's things to do. There's just basic little things to kind of start recovery. You have to talk with a medical professional, and you know, talk with them about things. And then, I mean, this goes back to Cassie's point. It's going to take multiple nights. It says 1 hour of sleep loss, 4 days of recovery. Let that sink in.
Yep, it's a huge thing,
Okay.
man.
So take into account. Okay. So if you say you sleep 8 hours a night, right? That's the said toll. So we say 8 hours a night. All right. You don't sleep for 4 nights in a row. Okay. So that's 4 days. So one day that's
It's 32 hours of sleep you've lost.
yes, no, I'm doing that. Then you multiply that you multiply that by 4 days.
4 days.
Okay. Well, yeah, right. I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
1 hour of sleep for yeah. So you're talking about that's just 17,
128 hours.
38 hours. Unless I did my math wrong. I think I'm off by 10.
I think you did. Check
Well,
the
no.
handy dandy calculator just to make sure.
It says
32 times 4.
1 hour
120.
lost. 1 hour lost, 4 days to recover.
So it's
you're
128 days to recover
28 days to recover.
from 3 days lost of sleep.
4 days, yeah, 3 or 4 days lost.
And that and
Makes
that
sense.
literally and it counts all the time. You know, like obviously it's super hard to get 8 hours of sleep, right? Especially when you're an adult, you got a job, you got other things that you do on a daily basis. It's yes, it's very hard, right? So but that's one of the biggest tolls that takes on our body as we age. You know, not getting that proper amount of sleep continues to build up over your entire life, man. Like, so it's crazy. Before we continue this,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
okay.
Before we only continue this for like a little bit,
Yeah, we're not gonna get much. No.
yeah, nobody's really responding to the tweets. Again, I dropped the ball on that one. That's my
questions.
bad. Yeah, so if you guys have questions for us, like actual questions, put them in the chat.
On anything.
Not just this
Anything.
topic. If you guys have questions, put them in chat now, and we'll get to them once we're done. Which we're only gonna do this probably. We're only gonna get like maybe a few more minutes. So we're gonna give you guys a few minutes to ask your questions in chat about literally anything, and then but we're gonna continue to talk while this is going on. So what were you saying?
Just watch some of the so-called self-treatments that you see and stuff like that. That's again why you talk with a medical professional. There's medications that are out there that can help you. Over-the-counter stuff. Just know what you're putting into your body. Hence, talk to your freaking doctor. I mean, that's
Well, and me and Verge were talking about this like before. We both take melatonin. Like it's sometimes it's as simple as that. Just putting enough
Guess what?
melatonin into your body.
I didn't go off of that just with my own knowledge. I went and consulted with my doctor.
Right.
Like I knew what it can do. I understand what it does. And again, that's what you have to do. Understand what it does. Just don't be like, oh, this is the cool thing. Everybody takes this. Like, you know what? That could really fuck you up as well. Excuse my language. I've seen it happen because people don't understand what they're putting into their system. And any given person can respond to any given thing differently.
Right.
It is just,
Right, like
I mean,
melatonin might not work for you. You might need like actual sleep medication or other things that a doctor
Yes.
can prescribe to you to do.
So just watch that. Naps. One thing that I've always said: 20 minutes max. If you take a nap,
See, I've always heard
Any longer
15.
than that?
I've always heard 15.
15, 20 minutes max, because you get enough to like kind of get that refresh
Well,
boost.
it gives you like a full. It doesn't 15, 20 minutes gives you like a full cycle of sleep, right?
If you can get there,
Right, if you
you're
can get
talking-
there.
You're talking about like if you're that tired, you go down and you come back up again.
Right.
But the biggest thing is that commonly with sleeping and naps and stuff like that is that you will actually screw up your sleep schedule
Right.
because your rhythm will be off.
Yeah,
And that's
'cause-
the other thing you're doing too. You're messing up your circadian rhythm, so you're just like kind of like your body has to reset what it needs to do. So it's just efficiency and melatonin too. But again, that's where you talk. That's
which
where
I
you
have,
talk.
so that's why I take it. Hello?
No. I'm reading what Kathy's saying.
Oh,
in
okay.
chat. I'm reading chat real quick. Yeah, so Cassie found something that worked for her. Exactly. You go through the test and you find something because, again, you have to look at all the other or any other underlying health issues that you have that's going to negatively affect what treatment could be.
Right.
Okay. And there's sleep specialists out there. There's people who study this.
There's literally sleep clinics.
Studies. I've gone through sleep studies.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's awkward.
It's super weird.
It's, you know.
But it's important. Again, we're not doctors by any means.
No.
Not studying to be
these
doctors.
Are the people you need to talk to.
Yeah, right.
You need to talk to these
people. We're just bringing awareness to the subject here. That's all we're doing. We're just two pretty faces to look at it while it's happening. Okay?
He's the pretty face. Remember, we talked about this earlier. He's
that's
the pretty face. I'm the voice.
Right.
We're gonna do a ventriloquist night. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll just turn my camera off.
No, I'm gonna.
Oh no, you'll turn your camera off, and I'll talk.
And then when you're talking,
right.
we'll have to have a script set up. We'll have to like do a script.
Anyways, guys.
So listen. The biggest thing is take care of yourself. Make sure you speak with medical professionals. Get sleep. If you feel like you're in that cycle, or if you hear people reaching out to tell you that, hey, you need to take a look at what's going on, listen to them, because trust me, body language speaks no matter what. I'm telling you, when you're tired, it's very easy to pick out people who have not had enough sleep. You can just pick them. Boop. There. Easy. Easier than
easy
peasy.
Anyways, guys, any questions? Now's your time to ask. You can ask us the most intimate questions that you want, or if you got serious questions, I don't care.
Yeah, goofy questions, have fun. Hey guys, do you want a useless fact for tonight?
Useless fact for the night.
3.6 cans of Spam are consumed each second. How about that, guys? There, take that little bit of knowledge with you and nibble on it.
When is the hot tub stream?
So when are we doing the Vader Leia stream?
We'll do
in December. We're doing it after 1 year. It's a 1 year anniversary thing.
It
so
is.
you just sit and wait a little longer, Tabasco. You're so eager on that.
Yeah, if they do the games to give again, which they do it every year, so I don't know why they wouldn't do it this year. We've already planned it. Vader will be basically Vader or Leia. First night or the entire time. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
We do owe it no matter what. We have to do it.
No matter what, we're doing it.
It'll be a Christmas special, Tabasco. Just Christmas
how special
fun is that? It's going to be the Christmas special
with Grandpa Vader and Mama Leia. It's fine. We got this.
Doesn't bother me.
Or sorry, sister Leia. She had a kid. They had a kid.
You won't hold your breath. You just wait.
Just wait. It's happening.
No,
it's happening.
Know.
We've talked about it. Don't worry. We didn't forget. We're just waiting for the right moment.
Hey guys, I heard there's something crazy happening this weekend, by the way. Sunday. I don't know. There was some hoopla about it yesterday.
I didn't hear anything about it. I haven't seen anything about it. So it's probably not that important.
Secretive.
Definitely not the 19th. Definitely not that day.
Definitely nothing on the 19th. Nothing at all. Nothing. Just a bunch of crazy kids running around going, yeah.
I'm gonna give y'all a couple more minutes. If you got questions, ask them. We need questions, guys. Come on.
It could be on anything.
This is your time to get to know us. I did have confirmation. I'm not gonna say a name, but we do have a very special guest finally lined up for next week. So definitely tune in next week. It'll be a good one. I promise.
We got confirmation.
We finally got confirmation. We've been waiting, and now we definitely have a guest. Who is the special guest?
Hold on. Well,
there.
See, we just said it.
How many wins for the Eagles this year, Verge?
You know what? Just the way they played yesterday, just a lot of energy. I like it. Atlanta Falcons suck. So it's not a good measuring stick, but they came out and didn't let off the gas pedal for all 4 quarters. Like they had some hiccups and stuff, but they were just going down the field. So we'll see. We'll see how to. Oh, hi, Mai.
Yeah, Mai's first chat. Titties. Love it. Yeah, love that energy. Anyways.
But
any questions?
I think they're gonna get 7-8 wins. I think they're gonna have a real bad hiccup. Injuries happen and stuff like that, but we'll see. We'll see.
See
All
what
I
happens.
know is that after Thursday night, the Giants are going to be 0-2 in
Who do they play
That's-
on Thursday?
Washington.
Oh yeah, they'll be on too.
And then-
The
and then we'll see what Dallas
the
does.
Cowboys will probably be on 2 as well. Let's be honest.
Who are they playing this week?
I have no idea actually. They'll probably win. Check.
We play San Fran this weekend on Sunday, home opener.
Yikes.
So it starts to get tough.
Cowboys play the
Chargers?
Ooh, that
Mm.
might be a tough one, but I think the Cowboys.
I think
If
that'll
they
be-
come
if
out,
it-
if they come out and play the way they did against the Buccaneers, I think the Cowboys take that one.
2 tough games back to back there. That's a lot of
Yeah,
juice you got
Chargers-
to put into those.
Chargers
man.
definitely have a lot of hype around them
lot of
this
talent.
season.
If
And
you get in
they
your
do have a
fantasy
lot of
leagues, right?
Yeah.
How did everybody do in their fantasy leagues? I know I won my game. Legend, love you. Thank
I'm
you.
probably gonna go.
Then-
Depending on if Floobs can get at least 3 points out of his tight end tonight, I'll probably just go 2-1. I was hoping I could pull out the undefeated start to the year, but
Mhm.
it's fine. I won the one that matters.
Hey, listen, 2-1's a good night at the plate any day.
What's your thoughts on drinking 1 gallon of water every day? Do it. Being hydrated, again, one of the most important things you can do on a daily basis. So
Just be cautious with that.
Don't just chug don't chug it. Don't just sit there and chug a gallon of water.
That's a whole nother
That's a
topic
whole-
we
yeah.
can sit and talk about.
Yeah,
the
but
hydration.
Stay hydrated, okay? Just be like, don't drown yourself. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Again, what you always want to do with that, and Silent, I can talk to you a little bit more directly with that because that's a little bit more on the nutrition side of things like that. There's body composition and stuff like that goes into calculations
of
on
it,
how much
yeah.
how much water your body at least needs during the day.
I have a bad
Now,
don't chug it. Chugging water is actually one of the
you
worst
can die
things
from
for
that.
you. Literally, you'll drink too much, it'll fill up your lungs and you can drown. Literally.
It's called hyperthermia, and what it does is it actually, you want to know what it is?
Say that 5 times fast.
No.
Okay.
What it actually does is when there's hyperhydration of cells, they explode.
Boom. Literally, boom.
And it most
They
likely
explode.
occurs here in your brainstem, and guess what? That's not good.
It's not. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but know this or not, but the brainstem and the brain, probably 2 of the most important parts of your body. Just in case you didn't know.
I wouldn't know because I don't have one in here, so
Okay.
it's like I don't know where it went. I do have the stem still floats around. I think that's where most of the small brain cells that are left there, they just kind of hang around and migrate.
It just flops around.
It's just like this in the wind.
No, but yes, no, do not just chug water.
Do not.
When they say drink a gallon of water a day, they mean literally throughout the day, not all at once.
Yeah. You hold back on the boomer jokes tonight? No, fire away. Let's see your boomer joke for tonight.
Yeah, the brain inflated. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what Verge is talking about.
Yeah.
Now I want to hear it. All right. Does anybody else have any questions? Look, questions, guys, questions.
There's been some good questions.
There's been
ones.
But I want to have more. I like the Q&A part of this. Seriously, anything, ask us. I do, yeah.
I'm anxiously awaiting this joke.
Waiting.
You threw it out there. Now it makes me think you're looking for something right now. So you know.
Hey, remember that night that we were doing Rocket League and we had all the dad jokes? Did you write? You said you wrote that one down.
Which one do you
from
want?
me? There was one. It was one of the ones from me. Not the ET one. There was a different one. I just can't remember it. But I remember
ET one. The ET one was what it was ET short for.
Right, but there was
was
one.
it the frag one? Is it the cannibal one?
No, there was another one that I said. I just can't remember.
The medium one.
Yeah, the medium one. There you go.
Okay. You want me to tell this?
Yeah, go ahead.
RW actually can't tell jokes, so we'll do this.
Yeah.
Hey guys in chat, listen. Did you hear this? All right. Did you hear about the police? They have a warrant out. They have a warrant out for a midget psychic who is ripping people off. Small, medium, at large.
Nailed it. Love it. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Hold on. What was that again?
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Whether one horse-sized duck, duck-sized horses.
I feel like, do they still have the, if they're duck-sized, do they still have the strength of a horse?
I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with a freaking. I wouldn't want to mess with one big like duck.
Bro,
Those things get.
just throw some breadcrumbs out. You're good.
No, I could see Joanne mount like. Joanne would be absolutely happy to see a horse-sized duck.
Oh, 100%.
She'd jump on that. That'd be like her. Is that your steed?
That would be that like, you know, you have mounts in games like WoW and stuff. That would be Joanne's World of Warcraft mount. A duck, a horse-sized duck.
Yeah, ducks are actually very aggressive sometimes.
They can be.
I would not.
They can
mess.
Yes.
I would not mess with that. Horses are tame sometimes. You can tame horses easier.
That fits Joanne. Also, heck you. I saw she came in and said heck you, so I had to say it back.
Yeah, she did. Heck you, Joanne. We love you though.
Yeah, look, guys, we're not gonna. We don't want to drag this on. So if there's no more questions, we're gonna wrap things up. Moral of the story: sleep good, no sleep bad. Okay, Joanne.
Yes, Joanne.
Yeah, what is it? Here we go.
This is. Oh, I can't wait for this.
Holding my breath on this one.
Joanne, if you do something good.
Why are you such a heck?
Such a heck. Okay. Well, you have to make sure you do that every week now. Bridge has to get his boomer ass. Listen. You get off the soapbox because you had a chance to tell a joke and you just
you're done now.
Fizzled. I can't.
Basti, can you time him out? Thank you. Yeah, no, we're good, guys. We appreciate you guys showing up tonight. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate you guys, sitting by and listening to us talk about, important things. Like I said, this is gonna be a regular occurrence here. It says 17 minutes.
What? You can make it longer.
I can make it longer.
Get out of here. You guys are freaking crazy.
No, we love you guys. Nick, thank you for the raid. Everybody else, thank you guys for being so active in chat. Y'all made this a very entertaining episode. Appreciate you guys. The shout outs for the night. Nick, thank you for the raid, brother. George and Carabelle, thank you for the follows. We appreciate you guys. Look, if you I can't believe I don't have that as a command yet. I forgot to add that as a command. Guys, if you didn't catch the whole episode, the VODs go up on YouTube immediately after the episode is over. So go check out our YouTube channel. It's down below. It should be down below the video somewhere in the links. And look, we appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys keep this podcast going. We appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully we'll have more CDL talk for you next week, depending on what Seattle Surge announces this week. Obviously, we'll have more NFL to talk about. We'll have more sports. And like I said, we got confirmation. We will have, hopefully, a fantastic guest for you. If not next week, maybe next week. I don't know when they said, if not next week, the week after that. I don't know when they said they could be available, but we'll see. Anyways,
we have an issue. Tabasco's mad with power.
Yeah. All right.
He's literally mad with power right now. He's riding.
Yeah, that's fair.
We gotta get out of here before all hell breaks
loose. We gotta get out of here, guys. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Thank you guys for listening to two old men rant on about weird things and important things. We'll see you guys next Monday, same time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 Pacific. No, 8 East, 8 Eastern. Sorry, backwards. But y'all have a good morning, good afternoon, good night, as usual. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
See you guys.
Body. I